Transfer of heat, conduction. Objectives: to see the different modes of heat transfer. Definition of conduction of heat. To understand how conduction occurs. We receive heat from the sun. A vessel kept on a burner gets heated on the top even though the flame is at the bottom of the vessel. Now, if we pour some water into this vessel, then the entire amount of water gets heated, in spite of the flame being at the bottom of the vessel. In all three instances, heat is getting transferred from one point to the other point. But how does this heat transfer occur? Basically, heat gets transferred by three modes: conduction, convection, and radiation. We shall first see the conduction mode of heat transfer. Let us take a look at a simple experiment. With the help of wax, stick nails at equal intervals on an iron rod. Now, heat one end of the rod. You can find that within some time, the nail nearest to the heated end falls off. After some time, the nail next to it falls off. In this order, all the nails fall off the rod with time. Why does this happen? The iron rod is made up of atoms, which are constantly in close contact with each other. When the rod is heated from one end, the atom which is near the flame gets heated first. Then, this atom, while remaining in its position, transfers heat to the adjacent atoms. These atoms, in turn, transfer heat to the next atoms. Similarly, loosely bound electrons also transfer heat energy. The free electrons, after acquiring the heat energy, drift through the metals and transfer heat energy by colliding with other atoms, as well as other free electrons within the metal rod. When the point where the nail is stuck to the rod gets heated, the wax melts and the nail falls off. As the heat continues to get transferred through the rod, the nail falls off. In this way, heat gets transferred through the rod. This type of heat transfer is called conduction. Hence, conduction is defined as the process of heat transfer, where heat is transferred from one atom to the other without the actual displacement of atoms. Hence, when conduction happens, two characters come into play: atoms or molecules and electrons. Conduction occurs mostly in solids like metals. Let us perform another simple activity. Take a test tube filled with water. Take a piece of ice and wrap a copper wire around it. On dropping this ice piece into the test tube, it settles to the bottom of the test tube. Now hold the test tube in a tilted position over a burner. The water at the top of the test tube starts getting heated. As we continue heating the test tube, the water at the top starts boiling. But still the ice at the bottom of the test tube does not melt. This means that water at the bottom has not yet been heated, and heat is not yet transferred to the bottom. This experiment clearly shows that liquids do not conduct heat as easily as solid, because the molecules of liquid are not arranged in close contact with each other. In comparison to liquids, gases fare even worse while conducting heat. But how does heat get transferred in liquids? Heat transfer in liquid takes place by a phenomenon called convection. We shall study this in our next topic. Summary. Conduction is the process of heat transfer, where heat is transferred from one atom to the other without the actual displacement of the atoms. Conduction occurs only in solids.